So this is it, guys. King of Bots episode 8, the final. And we start straight off with Megabyte versus what I've been informed in the comments I've been pronouncing very wrong, no shocker there, is actually Shiyun Zenlun. So Megabyte was taking chunks out of Shiyun pretty early on, and it was giving it a good battering. I think this is one of those moments where you really need to remind yourself of the weight of these things. 110 kilos, like something that I could maybe push on its side with a lot of strength. And these things are flying all over the place. Like the sheer physics involved in this is staggering. So Shiyun Zenlun lost. They lost their drum. They lost the wedge. It was looking very bad for them. But then as Megabyte were near, you could see like these sparks were flying out, even though they seemed to be spinning like normally, nice and flat. You've just got to hand it to Shiyun. What an insanely tough robot that can just put up with all that punishment and just carry on. And then yeah, Megabyte died. And yeah, I was a bit upset because I do like Megabyte, but like I say, I give him a lot of shit, mainly because I can't pronounce the name, and it's embarrassing, but yeah, it's an insanely tough robot, and again, another thing to be reminded of, this is the first time these guys have built robots, and it's standing up to Megabyte punishment, that's incredible. Second battle was Thunder and Lightning versus Spectre. So I still expected Spectre to win, to be honest, but there was a little bit of doubt as to whether, if it was occupied with one, the other one could come in from behind of its spinner or something like that. And then it lost the teeth really early on once again, and I was like, oh shit, oh god, okay. But it came back, it was doing really well. At one point, a bit which when I was watching, I was like, oh, that is cruel. When they picked up one and they fed it into the other one's weapon, I was like, that is that's mean. Come on, guys. But yeah, they were just annihilating it. One of them, they smashed it into the wall. The wheel just buckled on the sheer impact from the force of it, and the other one, yeah, they repeatedly chucked into the Nargulator until it just died on one side. After this battle, they said something like, oh yeah, hopefully we'll be lifting a trophy pretty soon. At that point, I was like, they're going to lose, aren't they? Great. Because this thing, I've noticed a lot with Robot Wars, if they've got footage of one of the competitors saying, yeah, this should be quite a straightforward match, or yeah, I think this will be quite easy, they always lose, because they always put it in for dramatic effect and, to switch around your expectations, etc. So as soon as I saw them say this here, yeah, we'll be lifting the trophy soon, I thought, fuck, they're going to lose, no! But didn't have any more time to think about it, because we went on to the next battle, which was Thunder and Lightning versus Megabyte. So this was like a playoff for third place, as it were. I sort of thought Thunder and Lightning weren't going to stand a chance, and I was mostly right, but at the very start when they got under the wedge and then sort of, again, got Megabyte on that sort of unsettled, sort of wobbly motion that it sometimes has, I thought, wow, this would be like an insane upset if they managed to do that, but they managed that only once, and then Megabyte absolutely shredded them apart. And afterwards, it was genuinely really emotional when the dad was really crying and the son's trying to comfort him, but also kind of crying a bit as well. And I think you'd have to have a heart of stone not to genuinely have just been a little bit just, okay, yeah, something in my eye. I have no idea what they were saying. Again, obviously not speaking Chinese, but it was, you didn't need to, I think, for that. You got they were saying, they were really pleased we got that far, but seeing, their robot be destroyed like that and getting so close, they were a bit upset, which is fair enough. But they should be so proud, because those robots, they're good, but I still think they weren't quite in the same league as some of these other robots that made it to the final, so they should be so proud to have got as far as they have. So before the actual final fight, we had another bit of a big filler battle, and this was a 9-way rumble between, I'm not going to try and reel these off the top of my head, so we got the Grubs, Peerless Zooge, Blue, Crossfire, Griffon, Inkthorns, Nuclear Bomb, Steel Dragon, and Dark Knight. So this fight, again, it's really nice when you have these filler fights, because you've got the sort of intensity of the main competition, and then these fights there's kind of nothing really at stake, they're just a big laugh, as it were. So we got Pink Peerless Zooge in there, and it's obviously just it's a nice sort of tension break, as it were. And this was a really good fun battle. Peerless Zooge was just sort of shredded completely, and there was bits of polystyrene all over the place. I'm fascinated to know what the hell Blue's axe is made of, the material, because it just it took that hit from Crossfire and it just kind of warped around, but it was working fine afterwards. Very odd. Blue at one point was on fire, and then also got stuck on some of the remains of the Peerless Zooge, and at the end there was just this enormous kind of pile of robots in the middle. No one had sort of swept them into a pile, they all seemed to have died in the middle, and then this little sort of box on wheels thing won, and it was great. It was a really good fun battle. And then we had the final fight, which was Shiyun Zenlun versus Spectre. No prizes for guessing who I was rooting for. So this battle started off in Shiyun's like favour, as it were. They got sort of underneath Spectre and kind of pushed it around a little bit, and I was like, please let Spectre win. Like it was proper on the edge of your seat stuff. So Spectre got like this reinforced tooth, or like, you know, bigger mountings for their tooth rather, so that if the claw got destroyed, the claw got destroyed. You know, it's the final battle. They haven't got anything after this, so they were just going to go all out for this. And it paid off, and they got the tooth, and they were biting down, and you could see them aiming specifically for like the batteries. And that's kind of, it's interesting to see such an effective robot, because usually the most destructive effective robots are the spinners. And sometimes they can be a bit indiscriminate, you know, just like massive blade, like it will just, any bit we can take off, brilliant. But it was really good to see a robot aiming so specifically for such a, like, for the component, you know, the weak component, as it were. That was great. And yeah, as soon as they got them and then we saw the flame, I thought, oh, brilliant, it's all over. Yeah, they did it. But that thing is so tough. That Shiyun is just such a, like, beast of a machine. It was just like, flames, whatever, and just carried on going. And then Spectre was like, okay, blimey, okay, let's carry on. They had to attack again. So it was fantastic that it wasn't over that instantly, and they just carried on fire. Like, yeah, amazing end. By the way, in the middle of this final, there's a fucking ad break. And the thing is about the ad breaks is they seem to be for King of Bots. And it's like, I'm kind of into this King of Bots. I'm watching it right now. So yeah, Spectre were crowned King of Bots, or Champion of King of Bots, whatever the term is. And so well deserved. They've stated that they kind of set out just to prove that a Crusher can still be competitive in modern robot combat, but they've gone way beyond that and shown that a Crusher can be the best robot. And Spectre, A, it's so good to see an effective Crusher back. B, it just seems such a leap forward in just speed and power. Like, it's like you see these big evolutionary leap forwards like Chaos 2, you know, with the massive flipper at that time, just annihilating everything. Hypnodisc with the flywheel, no one had seen anything with, you know, that level of destruction before. And for me, this like insane level of power is just another one of these leap forwards. It just staggers me, this thing. So King of Bots overall, I think this series, especially being a debut, has been absolutely fantastic. It borrows a lot from BattleBots, but why not? BattleBots is great. And because China are in the sort of like the infancy of building robots, it reminds me, it's like a weird cross between like the modern robot combat shows and old school Robot Wars, and that you've got a real range of like abilities and quality of robots. You've got some absolute not very well made robots and some like monsters. So I really enjoyed that kind of, you know, this robot could be the most insane, groundbreaking robot you've ever seen, or it could be just sort of like a radio controlled car with a tin around it. The presentation for me is a bit of an issue, mainly just with the battles, because they have, in the battles we've had advert breaks, we've had like flashbacks to previous battles, we've got like little mini interview snippets, and it makes it less of like a kind of sport. I know it's not really a sport, but you know what I mean. It's less of a competition-y, real-time thing that you're watching, and makes it more of a reality TV show, and that wound me up a bit. I didn't enjoy that. That's my only real gripe with this show. The thing that surprised me about this and BattleBots as well, actually, is that they don't have house robots. Robot Wars is the only show to have house robots. And I find that really odd. I found it really odd originally with BattleBots, because I thought that's, without generalizing, that's kind of an American thing, you know, like big bad robots, an excuse to make these like insane, like no limits machines. And I thought a brand new robot combat show, maybe they would like think, oh, you know, let's do our own house robots, and I thought that would be great. But again, there's no sign of them, and I find that, like I say, it seems like a missed opportunity, like both for, you know, moving disabled robots around, or, you know, whatever. But also just an extra hazard and stuff, and sort of some like permanent characters on the show, because I think that's a thing about Robot Wars, is you've always had those permanent characters there, like the original house robots as well. R.I.P. Sergeant Pash. So rumour has it we've got a King of Bots Series 2 already in the works, bloody brilliant, but also a Series 1.5. Which I don't know what that's going to be yet. I'm guessing maybe it's some sort of like the old Robot Wars Extreme, just a load of different challenges and battle scenarios and stuff, which is cool. I'm very happy with that as well. Overall, like I say, this series has just blown me away. I've really enjoyed it, and it's shown that robot combat is so alive today, and it's great. And the more shows like this just keep coming out, the better. So guys, thank you for watching, especially if you've watched every review from the start. That's really good, really glad. Hope you've enjoyed them. And yeah, I'll see you in whatever video I do next. Cheerio.